Nutritional powerhouses of the past. Many traditional plant foods contain macronutrients and micronutrients at levels unmatched by modern cultivated crops. Legumes like lentils and chickpeas, for instance, were foundational in diets spanning Africa, Asia, and the Mediterranean. Their high protein content, combined with complex carbohydrates and fiber, made them ideal for sustaining energy over long periods. Root vegetables such as sweet potatoes and taro played similar roles in indigenous cuisines worldwide. These starchy staples provided essential calories during times of food scarcity, while their naturally occurring vitamins and minerals helped prevent deficiencies. Modern studies confirm that these tubers retain higher bioavailability of nutrients compared to refined grains. Lentils contain twice as much iron as spinach and are rich in folate, making them vital for fetal development and preventing anemia. Millet, a drought-resistant grain packed with magnesium, phosphorus, and B vitamins often lacking in Western diets. Turmeric contains curcumin, a compound shown to reduce inflammation and support brain health. Cultivated over millennia, heirloom varieties of fruits and vegetables often outperform commercial hybrids in terms of flavor, complexity, and medicinal compounds. Quinoa, for example, was revered by Andean civilizations not only for its complete protein profile but also for its resilience against extreme climates, a trait now recognized as critical in climate change adaptation strategies. The synergistic combinations found in traditional dishes further enhance nutrient absorption. In Indian cuisine, combining turmeric with black pepper increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%, demonstrating the sophisticated understanding of food synergy present in ancient cooking methods. Cultural significance beyond nutrition. Beyond their physiological benefits, traditional plant foods serve as living repositories of human history. Every ingredient carries stories of migration patterns, trade routes, and spiritual beliefs encoded in culinary traditions. The presence of cacao in Mesoamerican rituals reveals its sacred status among the Maya and Aztecs, who consumed it mixed with chili peppers and maize in ceremonial contexts. Similarly, the use of amaranth seeds in pre-Columbian societies highlights their role as symbols of fertility and renewal. When Spanish colonizers banned the cultivation of amaranth due to its association with indigenous religious practices, they inadvertently suppressed a crop that had sustained millions for thousands of years. Gastronomic heritage and identity. Foods like kimchi in Korean culture or injera in Ethiopian tradition encapsulate entire histories within their preparation methods. Kimchi making, which involves fermenting Napa cabbage with fermented seafood or vegetable brine, reflects Korea's deep connection with marine resources and seasonal cycles. This process not only preserves vegetables but also enhances probiotic content beneficial for gut health. Ethiopian injera, made from teff flour, showcases another layer of cultural specificity. Teff's tiny size makes it difficult to grind manually, leading to the invention of specialized tools still used today. The spongy texture allows for communal dining experiences where multiple dishes are shared on the same platter, an embodiment of social harmony values. Modern relevance and scientific validation. Contemporary researchers are increasingly turning to traditional plant foods for solutions to modern health crises. Studies show that populations consuming diverse plant-based diets exhibit lower rates of chronic diseases despite limited access to healthcare. The Okinawan diet, rich in sweet potato, seaweed, and green tea, correlates with exceptional longevity and cognitive function among centenarians. Dairy-free fermentation techniques from Asian countries demonstrate alternative pathways to bone health. Fermented soy products like miso and tempeh contain vitamin K2, which plays a crucial role in calcium metabolism and cardiovascular protection. Benefits previously attributed exclusively to dairy consumption. Phytochemical advantages. Traditional plant foods often harbor phytonutrients absent in conventional agricultural systems. Wild harvested mushrooms, for instance, contain ergothioneine, a potent antioxidant linked to reduced risk of neurodegenerative disorders. This compound is not synthesized by humans and must come from dietary sources, underscoring the importance of biodiversity in our food supply. Medicinal plants like ashwagandha and ginseng, integral to Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine respectively, illustrate the intersection of botany and psychology. Clinical trials indicate that regular consumption can regulate cortisol levels, improve sleep quality, and enhance stress resilience, all factors contributing to overall well-being. Sustainable food systems and climate resilience. The environmental footprint of traditional plant foods presents compelling arguments for their revival in the context of climate change. Many ancient crops require significantly less water than modern monoculture farming systems. Buckwheat, for example, thrives in poor soil conditions and contributes to nitrogen fixation, improving land fertility without synthetic fertilizers. Cover cropping techniques employed by indigenous farmers showcase early forms of regenerative agriculture. Native American tribes practiced intercropping maize, beans, and squash, the three sisters, which created symbiotic relationships enhancing yield while preserving soil integrity. This method reduces erosion and supports pollinator habitats simultaneously. Carbon sequestration. Potential perennial grasses like sorghum and millet sequester carbon more efficiently than annual crops. Traditional agroforestry systems integrating fruit trees with ground cover crops create multi-layered ecosystems that store atmospheric CO2 while producing nutritious yields. This approach contrasts sharply with industrial farming models responsible for approximately 80% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Regenerating degraded lands through native plant species restoration can reverse desertification processes affecting 40% of Earth's surface. Ancient practices involving controlled burns and rotational grazing help maintain ecosystem balance, lessons now being relearned by modern conservationists seeking sustainable land management solutions. Challenges in preserving culinary traditions. Globalization poses existential threats to the survival of traditional plant foods. Monoculture farming and corporate seed patents jeopardize genetic diversity, replacing countless regional variations with standardized commercial strains. The loss of heirloom tomato varieties, for instance, diminishes flavor profiles and adaptive traits developed over centuries. Urbanization accelerates this decline by disconnecting younger generations from ancestral foodways. Convenience-driven diets prioritize shelf-stable packaged goods over perishable fresh produce, eroding skills associated with harvesting, storing, and preparing traditional ingredients. In many cases, recipes containing rare spices or fermentation techniques become lost within 2 generations. Cultural appropriation versus appreciation. The commodification of traditional foods raises ethical concerns regarding cultural ownership and benefit sharing. When corporations patent indigenous remedies or mass-produce heritage ingredients without compensating source communities, it perpetuates historical exploitation patterns. The case of neem tree derivatives illustrates this dilemma, where pharmaceutical companies profit from substances long used by Indian villagers. Authentic knowledge transfer demands respectful engagement rather than extractive appropriation. Successful initiatives involve co-development agreements where local communities retain control over intellectual property rights while sharing expertise with global partners committed to equitable partnerships. Such collaborations preserve cultural integrity while enabling wider accessibility to time-tested botanical wisdom. Revitalizing traditional knowledge through education. Integrating traditional plant foods into formal education systems offers dual benefits for health literacy and cultural preservation. School gardens cultivating native species teach children about local ecosystems while providing hands-on experience with ancestral crops. In Japan, schools incorporating moromi, fermentation starter, production into science curriculum foster appreciation for microbial ecology alongside food technology principles. Cooking classes emphasizing whole food preparations revive forgotten techniques like stone grinding, clay pot cooking, and natural leavening. These methods not only conserve energy but also maximize nutrient retention. Demonstrations showing how to make sourdough bread from wild yeasts highlight the sophistication of pre-industrial baking methods. Community-based revival efforts. Local cooperatives dedicated to preserving traditional foodways create economic opportunities while safeguarding biodiversity. In Mexico, ejidos, communal landholdings, focused on growing native corn varieties combat the spread of genetically modified strains threatening indigenous identities. Similar efforts exist in Ethiopia, where women-led collectives promote teff cultivation as a climate-resilient staple. Food sovereignty movements empower communities to reclaim control over their agricultural systems. By establishing seed banks and open-pollinated variety exchanges, groups protect genetic resources from corporate consolidation. These grassroots networks enable knowledge sharing across geographic boundaries, creating global webs of traditional ecological knowledge. The future of traditional plant foods. As we confront escalating public health issues and planetary limits, traditional plant foods emerge as viable solutions to interconnected problems. Integrating ancestral wisdom with cutting-edge biotechnology may unlock new possibilities, from developing climate-adaptive crop variants to refining nutraceutical applications of age-old botanicals. The potential of epigenetic research suggests that traditional diets might influence gene expression in ways currently underestimated. Diets rich in cruciferous vegetables, for example, activate detoxifying enzymes that could mitigate carcinogenic risks. Understanding these molecular mechanisms bridges the gap between ethnobotanical knowledge and genomic science. Technological innovations in preservation advances in cryopreservation and tissue culture allow scientists to bank genetic material from endangered plant species. Digital mapping projects catalog traditional cultivars along with their associated ecological niches, facilitating targeted conservation efforts. This data helps predict which species will thrive under changing climatic conditions. Artificial intelligence applications analyze vast datasets of traditional recipes and agricultural practices to identify patterns useful for modern application. Machine learning algorithms trained on centuries of folk remedy records can suggest novel treatment avenues, accelerating drug discovery timelines typically requiring decades of research. Conclusion: the journey toward embracing traditional plant foods represents more than a return to the past. It signifies a conscious choice to build healthier futures. These foods embody a harmonious relationship between humanity and nature, offering pathways to physical vitality, cultural continuity, and environmental stewardship. To honor this legacy, individuals can begin by exploring regional specialties available locally, supporting small-scale growers of heirloom varieties, and participating in community workshops teaching ancestral food preparation techniques. Every meal becomes an opportunity to connect with generations before us while shaping a more resilient world for those yet to come.